Alright, I'm back with you. Now let's expand on how the scapula or the upper torso gets influenced by this split stance, which I'm recommending you look at very closely when you start working with your clients, especially if they have instability problems and you're trying to integrate upper body, lower body. When we look at the split stance, once again we'll go to this similar stance position. Let's think about what's happening here. Number one, our right foot is forward. Number two, our left foot is back. Therefore, again, our pelvis is shifted on our right side backwards. Our pelvis is shifted forward on our left side. What that basically does is, once again, it locks in the sacrum and L5 to stay stable. From there now, we can go ahead and do a lot of different exercises in the upper body as well. Let's take, for instance, I got a band here. Let's go ahead and put the band here. Now, as I go down into my split squat and I come up into a press, because my left hip is locked into an extended position, my right scapula is going the same way. Therefore, they lock together so my left side can very easily release and give me a lot of motion and control. On the flip side of it, my right butt is really stabilizing hard. What do you think that's doing with my left scapula? It's creating better stability into my left scapula. So now as I go down into my squat and press, my left scapula is nice and stable to go ahead and do the overhead press. Now what would happen if we can't get into the split stance? Let's go back into it. We're into the split stance. What would happen if this left hip flexor was tight? Well, we'd probably have to flex at our lumbar spine, which means then we'd be unable to go ahead and activate our right scapulas effectively, which means then that our right pelvis can't engage, or our right butt can't engage because the left hip flexor is tight. Very often, when you see problems in the shoulder, for instance the left shoulder, I want you to go ahead and look down on the same side hip. When you see problems with the left shoulder in regards to the stability, I want you to look down to the right side hip, because typically that'll be unstable. So if you have a mobility problem in the left shoulder, look down at the left anterior hip. If you have a stability problem in the left shoulder, look over to the right side, because that's what's going to be connecting up. Again, the split stance that Mike talked about creates all kinds of great information that we can share back and forth. It's why when I created the resistance band program the way I did, I always looked at split stance as a way of training, because of not only the flexibility that it created, but also the stability that it created both at the lumbosacral junction, or L5S1, but also how it fed up into the shoulder blades and the scapula. Split stance. When your people are struggling, go to it. Go to it. It's a great way to go ahead, create great closed kinetic chain stabilization and integration, and also keep them stable. Tomorrow I'll come on back and we'll show you how to do some split stance with the band as part of the RBT Live sequence this week. Talk to you soon.